With New York voting down a bill to legalize same-sex marriage, all eyes turn to New Jersey as the next battleground for marriage equality. Gay rights advocates are hoping for a different outcome in the Garden State, with the legislature expected to vote on a bill next week. Both sides in the debate rallied at the State House, and Giovanna Derpick was there.
This land is your land. This land is my land.
Gay marriage supporters rally with a song in one corner of the New Jersey State House complex. In another corner, opponents of same-sex marriage pray for its defeat. Both sides are preparing now that a Senate Judiciary Committee will vote on the bill on Monday. Rabbi Nassan Leiter, an Orthodox Jew, calls gay marriage a threat to how he and other religious people want to raise their families.
And they would be the types of people that would just exert an extremely corrosive influence on impressionable children by walking around, two men walking around kissing in front of your children. I mean, who could live with that?
William Lawrence, a self-described practicing Christian, says this is not a religious issue. It's a civil issue. And passage of the bill would mean he and his partner would be able to celebrate their commitment of 37 years.
It would mean that I could hold ourselves out as a married couple.
This follows the defeat of similar legislation in New York's Senate by a wider than expected margin.
Politicians in New Jersey, like the people of New Jersey, couldn't give a damn about what occurs on the other side of the Hudson.
New Jersey already has civil unions.
I think civil union's enough. We don't need to take the institution of marriage, which is uniquely between a man and a woman, and radically redefine it.
A vote on the same-sex marriage bill by the full Senate is expected Thursday. From Trenton, Giovanna Derpick, My 9 News.
Joining me now, Assemblywoman Valerie Huttle, who is a prime sponsor of the bill in the Assembly, and State Senator Michael Doherty, who was recently sworn in to represent District 23. Thank you both for joining us. Assemblywoman, you have been passionate about this bill, and of course, you've also, we want to know why your feelings are so strong to pass marriage equality in New Jersey.
Well, Brenda, I feel this is more than a gay issue. I feel it's a civil rights and an equal rights issue, and I think each of us know couples that are together, same-sex couples, and we know how important the word marriage is, especially if they do have children. We really, in my opinion, when we talk about family values, we really don't want these children to grow up with a stigma that they're second-class citizens, that what are their parents? Civil unionized, and we do show now that the civil union, the report shows that it is failing these couples. So when we look at the definition of marriage, marriage should be committed couples that are loving and committed to each other. And I take exception to the fact that it is just strictly a gay issue and a religious issue, because the bill that I'm a prime sponsor of does have a Religious Protection Act in there. So it's a civil marriage.
Senator, you look like you were anxious to just start talking, but do you think it should go to a vote in both houses?
Well, absolutely, Brenda. This is about the process. In 31 other states around the country, the voters have been able to say yes or no for traditional marriage, and that's all that we're asking. We're asking that a question be presented to the voters of the state of New Jersey so we can put this issue to rest once and for all. And by having 8.5 million residents say yes or no, we can do that and move along to tackling the bigger issues of the day, like the economy.
Do you think saying no in New York has made a difference for New Jersey?
No, I think, first of all, we're a different legislature here in New Jersey, and New Jersey is a much more progressive state as a whole. But when we take it to a public, I know the civil rights vote and the act in 1960, that was voted upon by Congress. If you look at mixed marriages and when you look at the evolution of marriage and other issues of the day, none of this was brought by a public vote on a ballot. So we are legislators that represent our constituents, and I think that because it is a civil matter, this does belong in the legislature.
Do you think it is a civil matter?
I don't think that having the legislature decide this issue is going to put this issue to rest. I think that in 31 other states, it's gone to the voters, and we keep hearing, I don't interject this, that it's a civil right. Civil rights connote constitutional rights, and it's the people of New Jersey that control the Constitution and what the various rights are under that Constitution. So it really does need to go to the voters and treat people in New Jersey like voters are treated in every other state.
There were a lot of lost votes in the Democratic caucus. Do you think the same thing is going to happen in New Jersey?
Well, I want to just go back to if we put it on a ballot and the people vote for it, you know, then you inject money into the system. It becomes a real money political battle. And I think if you look at California, why it was voted down, monies get involved, entrenched with lobbyists, and you know, as legislators, I think that's what we're elected to do, is represent the people. And again, you know, if you don't believe that marriage is a civil right, if you look at the tradition of marriage, back when we found in the United States, you know, the governor in Plymouth, the first marriage was performed, as you know, you're laughing because of all the editorials that have been written. It is definitely a civil right. And you know what else I'd like to say? Would like to say that I've been married for 30 years. And if someone else wants to get married, a same-sex couple, that's not going to affect my marriage. But what we can do will certainly affect them and help them.
Now, you did mention governor for just a moment, though. And, of course, Governor Corzine was very much in favor of it. But Governor Christie is now in. So do you think that's made a difference?
Well, Governor Christie's been pretty clear in the campaign. He said that he supported the voters of New Jersey deciding this issue. He said if it does get to his desk, he would veto it. But the reason, Brenda, that folks such as Valerie and a lot of the members down in Trenton don't want the people to vote is because they cannot control the outcome. And that's very disturbing to me, that here you have a great public question of the day, and they don't want it to go to the voters because they're not sure how the voters are going to vote. And if you look at the 31 other states where the people have had a choice, the voters have said, look, we support traditional marriage. And I actually went to the only openly gay member of the legislature, our colleague Reed Goshiora, and I said, hey, Reed, why don't we go to an arbitrator, a law school professor, and have a neutral question that we'll craft together, that we can present to the voters that's not biased one way or the other. And he had absolutely no interest because they can't control the outcome when 8.5 million voters go to the ballot box.
The Quinnipiac poll that was put out recently said that gay nuptials were opposed 49%, I believe, to 49% to some 46%. Your opinion about that?
Well, I think the public, especially New Jersey, favors gay marriage. And again,
so this poll says state voters oppose.
What was 49? I thought it was 49.
49% to 46 who oppose gay nuptials in the Quinnipiac poll.
Okay. Well, with that being said,
a recent Quinnipiac University poll showed that state voters opposed gay nuptials 49 to 46%.
Okay, well, that is very close, and I think the numbers have, so forgive me, so I had the wrong numbers, because the numbers have been changing, and I think because of the pressure from the public now that we're getting to because of the new governor, and I think a lot of people, legislators, are just concerned that if they do this, there may be a veto. But I think that if each legislator finds their own reason to support this, and they look into their hearts and open up their hearts to really find truth, that this is really the right thing to do, I think that we have hope in passing it. I really do.
Okay. I'm sure the issue is not yet finished with discussion.
Well, no, we're not.
It certainly shouldn't be done during a lame duck session after an election and before the new legislature comes in.
May I just say, it's not just the last.
This is why lame duck has such a bad name.
We've been working on this for 10 years, Michael. You know that.
And we shouldn't do 10 years' work in 40 days between an election and a new governor.
We have been really working on this for a long time.
Thank you both.